A Nissan Gib is retired? I don't know. I'm not buying it. So if you check this out, Leon Wills put out a tweet saying, put them in a stressful environment, shut down their frontal cerebral lobe, don't allow them to breathe or reset. This will expose their training and their nature. To which someone replies, the people want to know from the people's PT what's going on with Gib. To which Leon Wills replies back saying, told you guys over 2 months ago, he's retired, but you don't want to accept it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those guys. I don't believe it. I'm not believing it, man. Like, come on. So let's think about this for a second, right? And Nissan Gib retiring, I just don't. I think there's too many fights out there for him to actually retire, right? I think he should be chasing the Jake Paul fight in my eyes. He should be taking that win back. I mean, yeah, the only problem with that is that Jake Paul is a much bigger guy. But still, I just think with the right strategy, I still think Gib has a good chance of winning in that fight. And I still think there's a lot of fights out there still for him. He could take the Slim fight. The Slim fight is there, man. It's there. Slim signed to fight Salt Poppy, which everyone was saying he was scared to fight Salt Poppy. He signed to fight Face Temper when everyone was saying he was scared to fight Face Temper. You know, people saying all this stuff. Slim is signing to fight these big fights. So the question is Nissan Gib going to be willing to? I mean, I think the only problem he's really running into is the fact that he wants to get paid KSI money, but is he really worth KSI money? Or Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis money? I don't know. The evidence is kind of out there. You know, these businesses that keep wanting to open up and have Gib as their superstar guy, they've been going bankrupt. They haven't been doing too well. So I think the only real route for Gib is Misfits if he's going to continue, because let's be real, this influencer boxing stuff is a business. Eddie Hearn got into and allowed these influencers to get on the zone because of the business aspect. He saw the amount of money that KSI, Logan Paul 1 did, and he said, look, I want a piece of that. He was very open with saying, I want a piece of that. And then he saw how huge their second fight was. Probably got him a lot of money. So he's like, you know what? I think this is a good market that I could tap into. And smartly, they tapped into it very smartly, not overpaying their fighters, you know, paying them what they are due for how much money they are bringing in. And unfortunately, Gib is asking for a ton of money when he's just clearly not bringing that much in. So here is my real thoughts on this statement. Is a Nissan Gib actually retired? I don't think so. But is he retired from influencer boxing? Is the real question. And I think the answer to that is yes. Hopefully, I don't think he should. I don't think it's a good move if he were to go onto the pro circuit. I think he should stay in the influencer stuff, especially with the type of character that he has, his type of bravado, and, you know, what he brings to the table in the way that he promotes his fights, things like that. I don't think people in the pro boxing scene will take that very well, the way he promotes his fights, whereas in the influencer boxing scene, it's seen as entertainment and something that's super, super entertaining and fun to watch. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea, but I think it's what they're doing. I think they see the potential that Gib has and his cardio and his work rate, and as you've seen from, you know, Leon Wills' posts, you know, don't allow them to breathe or reset, which is what Gib has, you know, been able to do for all of his wins so far. He's done it to Austin McBroom. We just seen him do it to Jarvis. So it's very clear that that's the style of a Nissan Gib, which is very fan-friendly, especially in the influencer boxing scene. It causes a lot of action, a lot of punches, and it breaks guys. As you've seen from his previous fights, these guys get broken down big time. I just think the only problem is that he doesn't sell. I think that's the only problem. And because he doesn't sell, and because he's asking for so much money, I just don't think he's going to get on Misfits, which is why I think, unfortunately, him as the influencer boxer, he's going to have to move on, because unless he's willing to take a big pay cut, he's going to have to move on to something else, because that's the only way I really see him fighting in influencer boxing. I mean, Misfits has been the only thing that has been able to sustain the name, sustain the fighters, still make a profit, and keep it afloat. Whereas all these other companies have tried, and they try to make Gib the face of it, and they end up all crashing and burning. So I don't know if influencer boxing is still going to be what Gib wants to do. I think he's looking at Jake Paul, seeing that Jake Paul is getting paid really good money to fight these other guys. And I think Anisong Gib is going to walk in those footsteps. I don't think he's going to fight these influencers anymore. I think he's going to probably go fight maybe some retired MMA fighters, maybe some, low ranked professional boxers out there, try to get maybe even on a Jake Paul undercard. Who knows? Jake Paul has been getting paid well, and he pays the fighters on his undercard really well also. So we might even see a Nissan Gib on a Jake Paul undercard. I don't know if his ego it will allow that, but it'll definitely get him paid what he wants to get paid. Certainly more than what he would get paid with Misfits, in my opinion. But to be honest, I don't know, man. It's looking like Gib's journey is kind of going to nowhere, right? Like, at first, it was looking like, all right, the loss to Jake, he wants to get that back. He wants to work his way back to that fight. But now that we've introduced weight classes and serious weight classes where Gib has really gone down a decent amount and fought at a genuine weight class where he's cut weight, he's looked shredded, he looks really good, and Jake Paul has bulked up a little bit, gotten a lot bigger, fights at a much higher weight class. I don't know if we really see this fight happening in the future. I know you guys would like it a lot, especially since, it makes sense to you guys because in the OG influencer fights, there weren't really no weight classes. I mean, yeah, there wasn't a ridiculous like heavyweight versus someone like Dean the Great size, but there was still like, 20, maybe 30-pound difference between guys, and they would go in there and just mix it up because no one really had good technique. They were just going to fight and scrap because maybe they had some beef or whatsoever. But now that the guys are getting better, they're getting more technical, you gotta be more careful. And I don't think these athletic commissions will even let them fight if there's a 20-pound difference between the two. I just don't see the Gib and Jake Paul fight happening anymore, which is why, and Jake Paul has already kind of pushed to the side away from the influencer boxing stuff. So I see Gib doing the same thing. I just don't think he's going to stay here anymore because, number one, there's no other, what other influencer boxing companies are out there that are going to offer him the money that he wants? And number two, he's already said multiple times he's not going on Misfits. If he was going to fight on Misfits, he would have been signed to Misfits by now. So I just don't see it happening. But I also don't see him retiring. I think Leon Wills probably just saying this. He didn't specify, right? He said he's retired. But he didn't specify if he's retired from boxing altogether or if he's just retiring from influencer boxing. So I don't think Gib is done. I think we haven't seen the last of him yet. I think we still got something coming. It might be in the works right now, but unless I hear from the big Gibber himself say, I'm done with boxing, you will not see me in the ring again, I just don't believe it. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. They're up to something. They're planning something, and I'm eager to see if there's an announcement sometime soon or within the next few months, if there's a big announcement of some sort of fight coming from Anisong Gib. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is Gib really retiring from boxing? Or do you agree and think that Gib is just retiring from influencer boxing and he's going to go that Jake Paul route? As always, thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.